I've been to treatment 4 different times in my juvenile life for inpatient. 30 days each, roughly. 28 days was the least amount. That was at Sundown M Ranch. That was the first place I ever went to. Okay. I was about 14 years old, 15 years old. I think it was about 15 years old, actually. And I learned quite a bit from them. I learned all kinds of recovery things. I understood all kinds of other things that had nothing to do with marijuana. And that's kind of the thing, is why am I even here if I am even just doing marijuana? Obviously, I'm here because I'm using any particular drug because I'm a freaking minor and shouldn't be using the crap in the beginning. However, assuming I was an adult, which is a shared location for adults, once a month we would have a session, AA session that was about 2 hours long, where adults and adolescents would come together and share their experiences. And that's been about hundreds of hours of sessions for me. Sessions and counseling groups that I've been through, specifically for drug abuse and drug use. Okay. And I could tell you, I know the story on both sides. And that being said, the choice of me choosing to quit isn't meant to be permanent. It's just meant to be until I see fit, until I feel like I even want to at all. And not because I'm ready to relapse. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when I have achieved what I set out to do, the reason why I quit, once that is resolved, then maybe I'll change my mind, and then sure I will. Because right now I'm in a situation where I am dealing with a lot of emotional issues on myself, trying to figure out what's going on with myself while I'm dealing with these other personal issues that I can't bring up right now. And to me, it makes more sense to clear my mind of all drugs, which is only marijuana, but it's a general term. So it's just going to help me equalize and level out and really identify the issues that are really going on in my life, so I can stop masking the situation and figure out once and for all, why do I feel the way I do? And in turn, why do I behave the way I do? Because of how I feel. You know, and this is a bold move. Nonetheless, this is a very bold move. You know, and I also feel like, you know, how this affects my marriage is critical, because again, my marital issues is one of the biggest issues of all of my issues right now, the biggest, if even, actually. And again, can't really get into the specifics of that, but I could tell you that I told my wife this, that, you know, because she doesn't really understand why I'm doing this. She thinks it's a little unnecessary for the purpose, but I explained to her that how I feel when I smoke versus how I feel when I don't, and not wanting to have our relationship based on whether or not I had weed that day. You know, and I tried to explain that to her because I would want to feel the same way on her end. You know, I would like to think of it as like, you know, if she didn't have weed that day, does that change how she feels about it? Is that going to change how she treats me that day? Is that, you know, you see what I'm saying? And vice versa. This is a multi-perspective outlook. Okay. And it needs to be. And I explained to her that, you know, having feelings of content when I shouldn't be content, when I need to realize that, hey man, something's not right and it's bothering you. And when you run out of weed, you're going to think really hard about it, and it's going to really affect you, and you're going to have nothing to crutch you, you know? And having these, you know, outbursts in my life, having the cops called on me for things that aren't even critical, just because my wife and I are getting to the degree of arguments where it's almost to the point where she and I reaching level 10 in argument's sake. And that being said, you know, the shame, the feeling humiliated, my end particularly, these issues aren't, there's just not enough weed on this world to cover my ass on these issues. I just can't, there just isn't. And if there was, I certainly couldn't afford it. So it just makes no sense for me. My plan is, today's the 4th of June. Okay. This is day 1 for me. It sucks. All day I've been thinking about smoking. All day long. Here and there. Not so much in the beginning, but about midday till now, I've been like, I could really use a joint right now, man. You know, and it's not even like I don't have none. I have some. It's in my freaking hand. I have about almost half a quarter of Grey Pape right now, and it's not even crap. It's good. It's really good. I can smell through the jar right now. And that takes effort. That does. You know? And you know what I'm trying to do, I had an idea anyway. It's for myself, you know, just experiment, messing around, learning things as I go, let myself be the guinea pig on this idea. But I want to document the process and make videos about my progression in how I feel, and try to have a set of questions to answer every day, and then calculate them, and then by the end of the 30 days, which by the way will be July 4th, a celebratory day, that will be a binary celebratory day for me if I achieve this goal of at least staying clean for 30 days. At the least. Let's not outreach and overwhelm ourselves with goals that are difficult to wrap our minds around, and start small. And then see how we feel then. But for now, 30 days is the key, the ticket, the goal. No more, no less. Until further otherwise. But no, obviously there's more, because I have to do this until I realize that I've resolved my issues, which is unknown. But I had to tell myself 30 days, so that way I don't overwhelm myself, and then I can reevaluate and say another 30 days and go based on 30 days at a time, and not like, and for as long as I live. That's a lot harder to wrap your mind around. All right. So the first question is did I use today? The answer would be no. How do I feel? I've been a roller coaster. Stressful moments in the day, I'm quite irritable. Chill out moments, I've been okay. More stressed on learning how to do the programming that I'm teaching myself with no help, sadly. But I'm hoping that one day I can find a source that can change that. But I'm going to rate the how do I feel based on 1 to 10, 1 being irritable, 5 being blah, 10 being good, by the end of the day. 3, did I have cravings today? Yes or no? Yes. Feelings of withdrawal, 1 being none, 5 being some, 10 being a lot, right? Everything between. 5, thoughts of hurting myself or others? Yes or no? No. Okay. 6, how physically active was I today? 1 being lethargic, 5 being active, and 10 being very active, right? 7, how mentally focused was I today? 1, can't think, 5, clear, and 10, I was focused. Number 8, overall, was today a good day? 1 being horrible, 5 being could be better, and 10 being great. I like how this is going so far. And the most important one of them all, I think, because otherwise what's the point of any of it if I don't do this? Did I make and upload a video today? Yes or no? If you're watching this, yes, I did. So there's your answer. And then I'll figure out a way to optimize this idea of mine for the next 30 days and just kind of experiment the progression of what I'm doing. Now, I will say one more thing. Trying to learn data science and create visualization graphs through programming based on statistics is something I'm learning, self-teaching, literally a book, some sources online, but I'm trying to stick with the course and not trying to learn how to do things several different ways as I'm trying to learn how to do it just one way. You know what I mean? I hate when that happens. And the cool thing is, this applies to so much, that even though today, right now, this second, I don't know what I'm doing in the programming, I'm still learning how to do this. I mean, I've learned the basics, but what I mean is how to apply what I know to the form of data science, data visualization, and converting what statistical information I have with the programming that I learned to create a visualization, a chart and graph that's going to calculate that all through programming. While I'm getting sober, while I'm going through my issues mentally, physically, spiritually. It's tough, certainly. But this is my point. The point is, even though I don't know, even though I can't today, is irrelevant to the fact that as long as I record all statistical information that's necessary, then it could be tomorrow, it could be a month, it could be 100 years from now. It doesn't matter, because that information is exactly the way it was the day it was inputted. And when the time comes to do something with it, it will still be there. And therefore the result will occur. The desired result is to identify statistically as accurately as I could through the means of programming. Something I'm trying to do in data science, something I'm trying to do academically and going somewhere positive in my life. And it's not easy. It certainly isn't. But I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna let this whole thing unfold itself, and we'll see what happens together. All right. So please support me if you support me in my purpose and just the fact that I'm even doing something like this in due times. Because anybody getting off drugs, yet alone for anything, that's difficult, man. So I appreciate it. So please support me any way you can. Getting off drugs is not easy for anybody. It's kind of a movement thing. It's not advocating for marijuana to be illegal or nothing like that. It's just simply enough. I think we all know that when somebody does something that everybody knows is hard to do, and then doing a bunch of hard stuff on top of it while their life is extremely hard, that's worth an applause, in my opinion. If I or anybody can achieve that, goal of sustaining through this and actually following through with the plan all the way to the end without giving up.